It's time to talk about another stem plant that I can recommend to just about anybody who has a planted aquarium. Lindernia Rotundifolia. A fairly easy to grow plant that I have found to be kind of difficult to acquire. Now, why that is, I really don't know. This plant does come all the way across the ocean from East Asia, but it just seems to never be in stock anywhere. I have seen tissue cultures of this plant, so I know that that's possible. I'm not sure why it's become an issue. The type that I have, I received from Liquid Creations, and it's supposed to be a variegated type, which I have seen it growing that way, and now I'm going to move it from the back of the aquarium to the middle of the aquarium. This plant does grow quite tall, so you could either position this in the back or the middle. I'm moving it from the back to the middle to get more light on this plant to hopefully bring out the variegation and promote that growth. One of the reasons this would be considered an easy plant is because of the wide range of parameters that this plant can handle. From 6 all the way up to 8 in the pH range. The general hardness is pretty simple to land within between 4 to 18. Carbonate hardness does not need to be too high or too low, from 3 all the way up to 9. The temperature range is quite wide, from 64 degrees all the way up to approximately 85 degrees. The one issue that you're likely to run into is that you are going to need pretty intense light for this plant to grow, though I can say from personal experience, it doesn't need to be over the top in brightness. A moderate lighting setup will just sort of stifle the growth of this plant, so it'll actually take much longer for it to grow. This Lindernia has been growing in my aquarium for quite some time now. I haven't really had that many problems with it other than it growing all the way to the top of the tank. Now, to propagate this plant, my first recommendation would be allow it to grow and get established, and once it becomes too tall, to trim the top off and replant it. Now, I've trimmed mine down to about 8 inches so that I can plant about 3 inches into the substrate, leaving about 5 up above the substrate. As you can see in the tank here, I've moved the Limnophylla rugosa back behind where I'm planting the Lindernia. Now, that's kind of important because I've noticed that the Lindernia is just growing a little bit slowly in the back of the tank. Although it looks kind of cool, it's just not standing out. It's not popping, it's not doing what I want it to do. And it seems that as it gets more and more light on it, it begins to become more and more of the variegated look, which gives it that real textured leaf, that real textured color to the leaf. And that's basically what I'm going for here. So I've cleared out a space and we're going to start planting it into the substrate. Now you just want to be a little bit cognizant of spacing. You want to leave about 1 centimeter of space in between each plant, and otherwise just kind of go crazy and fill in an area. As you guys know, I do try to keep my aquariums sort of a blend of the Japanese, Dutch, and natural aquarium styles, and I'm just kind of filling out the spot here and making it overall more aesthetically pleasing and a better opportunity for the plant to grow a little bit better than it was previously. I have continued to propagate this plant. I do have some extra trimmings in the sump, and I will be passing those off to some other users or aquarium keepers or whatever you want to call you guys, and hopefully get some more of this out there. Like I said earlier in the video, I got mine from Liquid Creations. It looked like it was in stock, and then it looked like Boost Plant maybe had some in stock also, so that's where I would start if I was on the hunt. Otherwise, look around at your local Facebook pages and that kind of stuff, or plant sharing trading groups out there that are getting to be more and more prevalent now and are quite the great assets for a lot of plants. Speaking of groups that are sharing and caring and doing all of that stuff, this community right here is fan funded. If you want to become one of the fans, you can. You could click the subscribe and the notifications and do all that. If that's not enough for you, you could head over to Patreon and you could become a patronizer, or you could just go right below and hit that blue join button, which does, in fact, cost money to sponsor the channel. But hey, it is what it is. There's a freaking pandemic going on, and we all got bills to pay, if you know what I'm talking about. Have not seen the giant spider in a while, which means, is the spider still around? Yes, I would not say that the spider is gone just because I haven't seen it. It's probably stalking me as we speak. I've got goosebumps now that I'm talking about it. Oh, lordy, lordy. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If not, later.